Hi, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Dolphin Financial Radio. We are on the road in Nashville, and I say we, Tony Shore and I, are in Nashville, the great city in Tennessee, and we're going to do a special show called Financial Wisdom from a Country Music Icon. Now, who's that icon? Is it the guy behind me? No, it's not, but that's Tony. He's there. And Tony, what you got up there? You got some guitars up there, 5 special editions. I see a double guitar up there. For the viewers now, for the people listening on podcasts, sorry about that, but for the viewers, you're getting a special treat. What is that? Whose is that?
Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin fame. That's his custom Gibson double neck guitar.
Jimmy Page, custom double neck, they call it. I'm not a country music fan, but today I am. I'm a financial guy. Who's that in the middle? You're
John Lennon.
John Lennon?
This is a Gibson custom made for John Lennon.
The great country music Beatles?
No. Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top.
ZZ Top, Billy Gibbons. I love it.
Yeah, they call this the Gibson Room.
The Gibson Room in Nashville in the Omni Hotel. We're here at a financial conference.
And then up above here, though, this is my favorite. That's B.B. King.
B.B. King? Nice. B.B. King. Well, we Tony loves this kind of stuff.
I do.
He's a musician at heart. DJ. Let me add him to the show. There he is. Tony, welcome. So we're talking about financial wisdom from a country music legend. And if you had to pick a music legend, Tony, who would it be?
Just an overall or country?
Country. It's got to be country. That's where in Nashville.
Because I will be honest, I'm a huge music buff. You know that.
Right.
Country isn't my favorite genre. That's for sure. I know very little about the country genre, but my favorite that's remotely related to country is Johnny Cash. Obviously, I love Johnny Cash.
What a coincidence! Because look who we're gonna be talking about. Lessons from this icon. Do you know the song?
Yes.
This is Johnny Cash, isn't it?
No, this is Dolly.
Wait for him. Wait for him to come.
No, this is Dolly Parton.
Oh, did I press the wrong button?
I love it. Turn it up. Turn it up. Crank it. I like this next line.
Jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the streets, the traffic starts jumping. With folks like me on the job from 9 to 5.
There you go.
So
that's
we're
America's sweetheart,
yes.
Right? And she's a national treasure, Dolly Parton. I like Dolly Parton, especially as a person. I mean, I don't listen to her music a lot, but wow. I mean, who doesn't love the song Jolene? That was her big hit.
Now, you were just saying you like that line when she said, talk about jumping in the shower, or
no,
you meant the line prior?
I meant the line prior.
Pouring a cup of ambition?
I pour myself a cup of ambition.
All right. So we're going to do some Dolly Parton quotes here, and I'm going to relate it to money because that's what this show is all about. So let's get started.
Wait, no. Who's your favorite country artist, Dan, before we get started?
I knew you were going to ask that. And okay.
You tried to avoid it.
We are doing a little bit of dress up tonight.
Yeah.
And so I'm wearing all black.
Johnny Cash. You got to love Johnny. And I will say this about Nashville to our listeners and viewers out there who maybe either haven't been to Nashville or haven't attended this. You've got to do the Johnny Cash Museum tour. It's right downtown, right off Broadway. It is great. It's just, if you're into Johnny Cash at all, it's wonderful. My wife and I lived in Nashville for 6 years, Dan, and my wife met Johnny a few times because he would come in and get treatments at Baptist Hospital, and she was an admin there.
Wow.
In the physical therapy department, and he would have throat issues, and he would come in for shots and things. Yeah.
I don't like that, but that's great that you got a chance to meet him.
Yeah, and he dressed all in black, and she got in the elevator once. It was just him and her riding down, and when she got in, he goes, "Hello, darling."
And then she married you, right? So there's a quick while we're doing quotes, there's a Johnny Cash quote that I want to share with you. You may not know. He said, I'm going to butcher it because I don't know. I didn't prepare for this one. Success is when everything stresses you out except money.
That's funny.
Okay, so Dolly Parton, stop this attitude that older people ain't good no more. We're as good as we ever were, if we ever were any good. I want to start with that because
She's great.
Retirement's a lot about, getting older and then not working anymore.
Right.
And I get a lot of my clients that are like, oh, now I have all this free money and time, but I'm old. I can't do what I needed to do. And I like this quote because you know what? If you weren't good when you were young, you're not good when you're old.
No, yeah, that's true.
All right. So here's one. I always count my blessings more than I count my money. I don't work for money. I never did. Now, I was reading a little bit about Dolly Parton. I took my kids to Dollywood years ago.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
And I remember reading an article where she said that all the advisors surrounding her said it was the stupidest idea ever. You're going to lose all your money. And so she did it anyway, really successful. And then got rid of her advisors and got new ones that believed in her. But this idea of not working for money, Bob Marley had famous sayings about this. Like, it's all about enjoyment, life, that kind of thing.
Right.
But are you able to retire if you're not working for the money?
That's the question, right?
But she's not retired.
Dolly just
saw
put
her
out
at the Super Bowl or whatever.
Yeah,
the halftime show.
Halftime show at the Super Bowl, and she just put out a new rock record, covering famous rock tunes.
So I think in this case, it's easy for her to say money after a while. Money's not important, but it's easy to say when you got millions.
Right.
I think she's got like 500 million now. It's something ridiculous.
Yeah.
So take it for what it's worth. But I do believe that when people come to me and talk about retirement, we talk a lot about things that don't have anything to do with money, but because everything has to do with money. But we might go 20, 30 minutes without talking about what they have in terms of assets. We're talking about other things. What do you want retirement to look like? Who you're surrounding yourself with? We just did the show on blue zones, living to 100. And we didn't talk about money in that show. I tried to relate it to, but there was these people are rich. They're living to 100 because they have all the money in the world. It's about your lifestyle. So
yeah, it's about longevity.
Mm-hmm.
But that does lead into the longer you live, the more money you're going to need in retirement is the point, right?
Right.
Yeah.
This next quote is for you, Tony.
Okay.
Dolly Parton said, "A rhinestone shines just as good as a diamond."
Wow. Yeah, she's full of great quotes. That's why people call her a national treasure. She's just
Nashville treasure? Did you say Nashville treasure?
National treasure.
Oh, national treasure.
No, it's not just. She's not limited to country music or Nashville, but she is a Tennessee native, and she's lived here, and she does a lot for this community too. But she's great. I mean, even if you don't like country music, which I'm not a big fan. It's just not my thing. I don't mind it. It just isn't my thing. I don't listen to it. But you know what? 9 to 5 hearing that song gets your feet tapping.
Yeah, it does. It's a toe tapper for sure.
Yeah.
And she did more than just country music. She also did. She gives those books to the kids, right? She got that program.
Oh, she's done so much with philanthropy. I read somewhere the percentage of her income she gives away and uses for charity is unbelievable.
Well, if she's being honest when she says she didn't work for money, then why not give it away?
Yeah.
What else are you gonna do with it? But this is a good quote though about keeping up with the Joneses. I think in a way, a rhinestone shines just as good as a diamond. So rhinestones are cheap, right? I'm assuming
cheaper than diamonds.
Cheaper than diamonds. So when you're investing or when you're living and saving for retirement. Maybe you don't get the latest and greatest, fanciest car. The Honda will get you to and from work just as well as the Rolls Royce. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Rolls Royces are extra special, but are they worth that much more? No, right?
No.
They shine just if you go out there and have your
not
kids.
If the purpose is to get you from point A to point B.
Right. Exactly. So I'm a big believer in this statement from her that, don't just do stuff for the looks. Think about it in the long run. You can just get by, and more expensive isn't always better, especially when you're planning for retirement. Wouldn't you rather have that money later when you need it, right? This is a good one. She said, "My songs are like my children. I expect them to support me when I'm old."
And that's happening. I mean, not to say she is old, but in her older age now, her songwriting and songs she's done, the royalties do support her.
So there is no, she doesn't have a union or a pension, right? The songwriters don't have a pension per se.
No.
Just like basketball players. We just did the show on taxes and state taxes on Social Security, and we talked about the baseball player Ohtani.
Yeah,
watch that show if you haven't.
That's
seen
a great one.
And how he's deferring his income. So not everyone's working for the county or the government or the federal government or
Right.
the state. You have to build your own pension. And so what she's saying is her songs are her pension. She's writing these songs and putting in the effort now, and they're going to pay royalties down the road, hopefully, right? And so that's what's going to take her on. But also, I like the fact that she said their children are going to take care of her. I'm a big proponent of, hey, if you need long-term care insurance, give your kids a call. Keep the money within. Why spend money on a nursing home? Again, that was in the blue zones. There are no nursing homes there. It's all about family.
Right.
So, but when you're working, you should be saving part of your money to pay you when you're older. That's the lesson here. Take a bit off the top in a 401k, IRA, or just savings, and save for the future. So she's got some good ones here. 2 more, Tony.
Okay.
2 more. Don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. Enjoy the ride, right?
Right.
That's why we're here. You and I'm here for to learn, talk to some money managers. You're here to talk with me and other financial advisors and get the lowdown on the industry. We're having fun at the same time.
Yeah, I think it's great that we can do this. It's fun doing a show live from Nashville too. But Dolly Parton, like this one, don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. When you put it in perspective of who's saying that's what it makes it even more important and better, because she's experienced this, and so she's trying to pass on what she's learned. That she's probably come to that, and the song 9 to 5 is kind of about that, and it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've read that she came from a very poor family, and now she's got a lot of money, which leads to the last quote and my favorite from Dolly Parton.
Okay,
you've not seen this, so what do you take, Tony? Here it goes. Anyone who says you can't take it with you has never seen me pack. Now I say this all the time to my clients. You can't take it with you.
Right.
The Egyptians tried to take it with them, and we got it anyway, right?
Yeah.
So you can't take your money, your assets with you wherever you go. So why not spend them or give them away while you're alive, or enjoy them while you're young and alive? And now she's making fun of it because she's like, you haven't seen me pack. But we know, and you just said it, she's not taking it with her. She's giving it away.
And she knows. Yeah. And she is giving it away. And that's what's great. I mean, it's just a lot of words of wisdom from somebody who's been very kind and tried to give back. I've heard quotes from her about, she's been fortunate and blessed, and she's trying to pass it on. Right.
Exactly. So don't try and take it with you.
No.
Maybe your last check will bounce, but here's the deal. I tell
that would be
people
very
all the time,
hard to do, though.
Surprisingly, one of my most difficult parts of my job is getting people to spend their money, because you come from nothing like Dolly Parton, and you get this money and like, I'm not going to give it up. I work so hard for it, and then you don't spend it. And then you get older and you're like, oh man, what is all this money going to do for me now?
Yeah.
So I'm a big proponent of that. All right. To conclude, Tony, here's my conclusion statement. It's from the song we just listened to. You're a step on the boss man's ladder, but you got dreams he'll never take away. So pour yourself a glass of ambition and plan your retirement. She didn't say the plan your retirement part, but
you added that in.
Yeah, she did. But Tony, thanks for a good show. I think it's time for us to go over to the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Check out Dolly Parton. I'm sure she's in there.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe see some Johnny Cash too.